Hello everyone, greetings the Aristobats, fellow immortals and mortals yet to be claimed by the night. Welcome to this lady's, well, not so humble abode anymore. So, if you've watched my previous video, you probably know what this is. If not, don't worry, I'll fill you in. No pun intended. So, today and from this point onwards, we'll play a little game called What in Hell is Bad? I'll tell you a few things about the game, I'll give you some story time, explain the game to you, and what we're going to do with it, alright? Because we have to be specific, because YouTube is a little weird. So first of all, what is this game? This game is a gacha game that mixes visual novel, otome, and I don't know how this battle is called. I forget the term. So you essentially play with chibis on a battlefield and you just set them in a specific order, like strategically, as well as control their ultimate attacks. And when they do it, it is an NSFW type of game, all right? But we'll get to the part of how we're going to deal with that, no worries. This game was initially a mobile game, just to make things clear. It became available on PC just recently, hence why I can play it with you now instead of by myself. However, I will say this as well, this is not my original account. Because of the NSFW feature, this game, I believe, had hard time releasing on the Google and Apple store. So they had to release the NSFW version of the game on a platform that is like Steam, that is just for NSFW games, called Aerolabs, okay? So because I wish to experience the NSFW version of the game, I went and downloaded it on my phone through Aerolabs, okay? But because Aerolab is, again, like Steam, it is impossible for the company, at least so far, to transfer the data from the Aerolab's account to the Steam accounts. So we, Aerolab players, had two choices. We either kept playing on the mobile and shut up, or come here and start over, okay? That's what I did. This is my new account, and that's why is, as you can see, on level 5, because my personal account is way bigger than that. I've been playing the game for a few months though, so it's not that I'm a veteran of some sort, although I did know the game, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's close this parenthesis and get to the plot. So this game is basically inspired by The Lesser Key of Solomon, which, if you're not familiar with demonology and all, is a very important book for demonologists. It is said that the writer is unknown, however, some people, I guess, theorize it was King Solomon that wrote that. I have no idea. I don't remember either, because I looked up this stuff long ago for my own writing and I don't remember details. But yeah, this book narrates a story in which King Solomon traps demons under a seal anyway, with a ring given to him by Michael, if I'm not mistaken, Archangel Michael, and forces him to build him a temple of sorts. That's what I remember. In this game, Solomon is a human that met all those demons and formed contracts with them and has now disappeared. We will do the story from the beginning together because I want you to experience the story from the beginning. I would have done it anyway. The reason I played some stages by myself is because I wanted to open this one over here. I will explain later. But the story we'll do together from the beginning, okay? So you will know what happens. But yeah, it is inspired by that and also by another demonology book that came out, I believe, after Solomon Key, that essentially took 7 demons from those mentioned in Solomon Key and related them, if you will, to the 7 deadly sins. I believe there are 2 books that did that, and I don't remember if each demonologist gave them a different scene or they both gave them the same. I don't remember that because I didn't like their version. I preferred focusing my demons in my book on stuff set in Solomon Key. So yeah, it is a mixture of those 2 versions, I believe, from what I've seen so far. Only taken out of context, and the designs being their own thing and their powers being their own thing, from my understanding. So this Solomon has disappeared, all right? And we, the protagonists, are a descendant of that person that is saved last minute by this gorgeous creature you see in front of you. That is Satan. I'm sure you're all familiar with the demon Satan, and that's his yassified version, who takes us to hell to protect us from angels that are launching an attack both to us and to hell. We'll see more of that throughout the story, no worries. With that out of the way, let's add some context to all this and what we're going to be doing in this game together. So a little story time first. If you hear any fixing in the background, I'm sorry. I said in the previous video as well, they're fixing something. The neighbor is very loud. Anyway, so I had my eyes on this game from the day it was released, actually. But I didn't have a smartphone at the time, so I couldn't play it. Lady is not a big fan of phones, guys. I pretty much hate them. I rarely use them. I prefer using my PC, talk with my friends through my PC, etc. Not a big fan of mobiles in general. So I started using one last year, early spring last year, for the first time. And while going through new games to play, I realized at some point that I didn't just want to play any game. I want to try playing Otome now that I have a phone, okay? I have a smartphone. But if you watched my previous video, you already know about this. I have a hard time with Otome games because I'm very picky with the design. If I don't feel the dudes in the Otome, I don't give a damn how good they are. And this is also the reason why I haven't indulged in the most popular Otome at the moment, Love and Deep Space. Is that the name? If not, I'm going to correct it on the screen. I like my guys feminine, I like them long-haired. And the majority of Otome out there, while they do have long-haired feminine dudes, don't necessarily have the art style I enjoy. Or an art style I enjoy. Grammar, lady. Anyway, every time I found an Otome that I enjoyed, it ended up being payable, and like I've said before, I don't have the financial stability to be playing games right, left, and center, so I was looking for something for free, and nothing really fit what I wanted until I came across another game that is mostly a gay game. I like how that sounds, which I can't play on here because, first of all, it is still a mobile game. It doesn't have a PC version, and also because it's still at the developing stage. It's just started out and many things are changing over time. And then, as I was looking for Otome, I came across this and remembered all about it and when it was first coming out and how I wanted to play it. And I was like, my goodness, I completely forgot about this game. And it's also a gacha. And I love gacha games and being able to have as many characters as possible. And that was another problem that I had. Out of all the gacha I play, the majority of characters are women. And the only gacha out of everything I played until then that had characters, male characters that I enjoyed was Genshin. Reverse, unfortunately, doesn't have many male characters. And out of those, it has, I like, very few. Nikke is an all-women one. Morimans does have a few men, but also they haven't released somebody I enjoy yet. So yeah, as you understand, I wanted to be able to play a gacha with more dudes anyway, and I was looking. So coming across this again, coming back to this, was perfect because it did combine my need for Otome with dudes I liked, as well as gacha with more dudes, as it's a men-only type of game. End of story time. Let's talk a bit about what we're going to do together. So we'll be starting, like I said earlier, the story together from the beginning so that we all experience this together. But I will be honest with you, because you know that I'm playing multiple games and do multiple things, and because I have no chill about this game, I won't be waiting to continue the story whenever I play with you guys. So it's not going to be a first reaction to the story, all right? Hold that thought. Hold it. Okay? So while I'm playing with you, I will be essentially replaying the parts I've already played, okay? Pause. However, this situation over here, the sub-events, I will be doing with you first time. Why? Because I keep forgetting to do it through the phone because, like I said, I'm not a big fan of mobiles, and this results to me forgetting to log in and check my events, and I lose events. And with other games, yeah, I can wing it because they keep coming back or they have an archive of the events. Well, this game doesn't, guys. This game, once the sub-event finishes, it comes back to an archive that is what? Payable, and Lady cannot get in the payable sections, so I lose events, and it drives me insane, okay? Because it is a really fun game. Like, the story isn't very deep, but it's so fun, and the interactions with the characters are really fun, and I don't want to keep losing that. So this will give me the opportunity to stop missing event stories. we'll be doing them together. So that's what we'll be doing. However, because YouTube is sensitive about NSFW content, and because every social media has become sensitive about it, don't get me started. I definitely think that it is parents that should be worried about how their kids use the internet. It shouldn't be companies, but since they don't do that, we people who enjoy horror or NSFW stuff have to deal with the bans and being careful with what we say and blah 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 blah. You understand what's going on, okay? So I won't be doing the sex scenes of this game. Luckily, you will see it. I will show you here. You see these? These are the sexual scenes inside the game, so I can definitely skip them when I'm with you, all right? So if you want to experience them, go to Steam, download the game, make your account, or if you're a mobile user, I guess now you can do it with Steam for mobile as well. No, the Steam is only PC. But yeah, you can get it from your Apple Store, your Android store or whatnot. You can get it from Elro Labs if you want the naughty version. And yeah, you get to experience this on your own and your own comfort of your own house with your own hands, you know. And then there's a secret club over here. That is the feature that is specifically available to the NSFW version of the game that is only on Steam and Arrow Labs, okay? This is the part where you get to please your characters for affinity, for them to like you more, okay? They have these friendship love bars, whatever you call them, and the more you milk them, the more they like you. So yeah, that's what this is all about. But it is part of your dailies. You have to do it once a day. Yes, this game requires you milk your demons once a day. Okay, not all of them, one is enough. But yeah, you will need that. And also, I will show you. There is this part that, you know, you do the adoring, as it says, and there is the unholy board as well, from which you do several tasks and you strengthen your character, all right? So yeah, this and the sex scenes, not on this channel. You will do this at home, by yourselves. What else we'll be doing together? The battles, obviously. I don't think I'll be having issues with battles in this game like I have with Reverse, for example, because there's not many transitions, many graphics. It's a very simple game. And yeah, that's what we'll be doing together. And that's all I had to tell you. We can get to the game. However, I will say this. I didn't have much luck with this account as I had with my other one, because when I started my other account, I had so many wishes that I actually had 5 to 6 demons ready for battle from the first chapter. You need 6 demons for each battle, okay? But I didn't have that in this account. In this account, I unfortunately have only 4 demons, and I'm in chapter 2, guys. And I'm so terrified because the game doesn't give me wishes and I need more demons. But the crazy thing that happened in this account was that, first of all, when you start the game, parenthesis, when you start the game, they ask you a few questions so that they can assign you one of the 7 kings of the game. If you want to go blindly, you can do it. When I first played the game, I played blindly, even though I wanted this dude over here. I didn't know there was a way to not do it blindly. And Fate had it and brought him to me, even though I didn't take any guide and followed my heart. But for this account, because I didn't want to make a mistake and lose him, I want him to be my main, I followed the guide. There's a guide online if you want to take a specific demon, okay? The rest you get from a gacha. So when I tried the gacha on this account, I got him twice. Like, I had him already once, I got him one more time, which was crazy because my first gold, my first L level character, which for this game it means the 6-star character of this game, if you're a Reverse fan, came at least 2 months after I had started playing. But now it came through my first 20 wishes and I got him twice, which is okay. It makes him stronger, although I don't need it this fast. And secondly, I got this dude over here. Guys, when I tell you I've been wanting this dude from the beginning of the game and he just refused to come to the other account. I have so many demons on the other account and this dude just refused to come. But in this one, first 20 wishes, home. He was there, ready. And twice, thank you very much. So I'm excited. He is defense, that I didn't know. But it's okay, I can use defense. I'm usually a person that goes full on attack. And sometimes you do need defense. Let's get to the sub-event today. It started today. We have a pirate sub-event. And because the event opens every single day something more to it, we'll play the first part today and then get to the main story. Because we can play more of the event, otherwise I will just do the whole event. But I don't want to wait, because again, I'm scared of my time. Like, what if something happens and when the whole sub-story is opened, I cannot record and lose it, you know? So we'll do one part sub-story today and a few parts of the main story. Again, I have to mention this is a click type of game. You will be listening to my mouse, so if you don't like that, maybe this video is not for you. Let's go. By the way, I'm sorry the music is so low. When the character talks, they overlap my voice if I, go higher. And I don't want to change the settings here. So I hope there won't be a problem. Anyway, we wish to mostly listen to them. Let's start. The man standing at the boundary between the sky and sea, part 1. This is a new character, by the way. Not interested so far. I don't know if he becomes more interesting through the story. Let's go. Whoosh! A cool heavy breeze swept in through the open window. Midsummer in hell. But it wasn't the kind of season where you felt murdered by the heat. Rather, it was a time when new pleasures awaited. Like now, like the deep blue sky you're staring at as if enchanted. Wow! How can the sky be so blue? It's just as blue as the sea. You gaze at the sky so deep and clear, it feels like you could dive right in. And as you do, you recall a story Satan told you a few days ago. Uh-oh. A thunderous crash rang out by the door, so loud that even Leraye, looking hopeful at the thought of a thunderstorm, poked his head into the hallway. So yeah, this is something I didn't tell you. Each demon has a fetish, and this dude's fetish is thunders. Yeah. Also, small parenthesis, if you're starting out and you get him, build the out of him. He's really good, and as long as you put him in front of the source, the enemies are coming, he one-shots everybody coming towards you. Just make sure he's at a distance because he's a sniper. It happened every time Satan appeared. He always seemed angry for some reason. Still, you couldn't help but feel your heart race each time. Satan, can you please just come in like a normal person? The door's not gonna survive another... another hit. Why are you mad though? Hey, what are you doing with the window and door all shut up? It's summer, you know. Oh, you're mad? You're mad because... Okay. Huh? While you tilted your head in confusion, he flung the window wide open with a dramatic slam that made it feel like the whole frame might snap. Don't be alarmed, he's a sweetheart. He has a few anger issues. Outside the window, a sky so brilliantly blue it took your breath away. Wow, so blue, it's beautiful. The period we call summer in hell only lasts about 2 weeks. Sure, the heat lasts longer, but the summer we devils actually love, it's only those 2 weeks. He gave a small smirk as he watched your odd expression and continued. The black graveyards hidden between jagged mountain peaks, even the ruins in the middle of the wasteland, they all reflect that sky's color soaking in the blue. Just 2 weeks. During this short, special season, even the angels halt their invasions. So enjoy it while it lasts. Wait, seriously? That's great, but why do the angels stop attacking? You asked out of genuine curiosity, but Satan, who seemed to have only stopped by in the middle of something, suddenly clenched his teeth with rage. I'll tell you later. Gotta go again. Why is he yelling at me? With that, he yanked the door open like he was going to break it off its hinges and stormed out. That happened just a few days ago. The sky was especially clear and transparent, so blue it looked as deep as the sea, and the wispy clouds resembled sea foam riding gentle waves. Wow, it's so peaceful. I wish it could stay like this forever. Murmuring to yourself, you suddenly fell silent and shook your head. No, what am I even thinking? I have to get back to Earth. But Min Young really loved the sea too. The breathtaking scenery pulled you into a wave of emotion once again. Please help me! What's with your buttocks in my face? The sudden scream was suddenly followed by a beautiful, clear blue view, being replaced by the red butt of a crimson lump. Is that Pyong's butthole? Please, Miss Lady H, help me! Then why are you sitting on my face? Is something stuck in your butt? What? Could you say that with your face, not your butt? I was in such a rush, What does being in a rush have to do with showing me that? Turning around, Pyong looked at you properly and awkwardly chuckled, scratching the back of his head, making you burst out laughing without being able to hold it in. So what's going on? So Paimon wants to try out a new hairstyle and is asking for an Earth-style look. We need your help. As you can tell, this is Paimon in this universe, and he's a femboy. I also don't like him that much, but I guess he's sweet. I don't think I can be much help. But you're the only person from Earth here in Hell, Since that was true, you eventually gave in and let Pyong lead you to Paimon's room. Pyong kept grumbling non-stop as you walked down the hallway. Hiya! Seeing the sky so ripe like that, today is definitely not going to be an ordinary day, I'm sorry I cannot do voice, by the way. This is my second recording for the day and my voice is done, so that's why I don't go that hard. Huh? The sky is ripe? Pyong kept muttering weird things under his breath. Maybe today is just the beginning, which means for the next 2 weeks, it'll be hard to see His Majesty Satan. As a loyal subject of His Majesty Satan, I'm like a sunflower that withers without the sun-like presence. But, no matter how busy, Satan visits the castle at least once a day, right? Well, yes, but as soon as he arrives, he storms into your room and then leaves the castle again immediately. At least he comes to see me, proper husband. What? Is that what's been going on? Satan, half angry and coming in and half angry when leaving, always made time to visit you no matter how tough the battle was that day. That thought made your chest tighten in a way you hadn't expected. Understandable. So, what exactly is going to happen over these next 2 weeks? You hadn't gotten any clues from Satan, but soon you spotted Paimon's door up ahead. You knocked gently. Come on in. Oh God. Oh, you look, different. As a silky voice rang out and you opened the door, a familiar sweet scent, unequally Paimon's, always floating gently in the air unless he was soaked in blood, rushed into your nose. See, now this design is interesting because in his main outfit, his shoulders are a little smaller, and then you have a sex scene with them, and the back is huge, and I was like, where the fuck does he hide all that back in that outfit? But this outfit, now it makes sense. Oh, you froze mid-breath. It wasn't the intoxicating scent that caught you off guard this time, it was him. Paimon, what is this? You're so beautiful. On your compliment, Paimon beamed like a blooming flower. He wore a pure white dress like a midsummer bride. Hearing that from you makes me way happier than hearing it from anyone else. But seriously, what's going on? The dress, the headpiece. Don't tell me, are you getting married? Your heart dropped at the thought, and you blurted out in panic. Paimon, smiling with his eyes, reached out and lightly traced under your chin with a fingertip. I know you're not ready yet. It's a little too soon for marriage, don't you think? I think the protagonist was more worried you would marry somebody else, not her, but okay. Although, honestly guys, I wouldn't mind so much if he actually got married and left me alone, but that's a conversation for another time. Huh? Just pretend you didn't hear that. Paimon chuckled softly and pulled you into a tight hug, rubbing his cheek against yours. The sweet scent of his perfume, stronger than usual, mingled with his natural fragrance, tickled your nose. He held you close until you were just about out of breath, then finally let go and settled into the chair in front of the vanity. Oh right, I came here to help him with his hair accessories. I can see the back of my head. Could you help me tie it up? There's not a single soul in this castle who can do it right. Did you ask the other devils too? But they all messed it up trying to put their own flair on it, especially Amy. His styling was a total disaster. So Amy is essentially one of the jocks. I tried to help too, but Pyong's hands are too small and weak, so no matter how nicely he ties it up, it comes undone after just 3 steps. Paimon giggled, lightly tickling Pyong's belly with his fingertips as Pyong looked embarrassed. You stood behind Paimon and began working on his hair clumsily but with all your effort. Paimon hummed the entire time, as if something very exciting was about to happen. You've got that curious look on your face, Lady H. Should I tell you, since you're making such an adorable expression? Paimon beamed, his eyes twinkling brightly. Today is the day when someone most precious to me is coming. You can tell by how ripe and blue the sky is. It has to be today. You have a boyfriend? Aw! Also, you silly bitch. Are you in an open relationship? Why are you sleeping with me if you have a dude? Someone precious? Your heart thumped at the thought of who Paimon's most precious person could be. The Traveler. If you're a Genshin player, you might get this. And there it was again, that phrase both Pyong and Paimon had kept repeating. How ripe the sky is. What does that even mean? Your eyes full of wonder met Paimon's gaze reflected in the shimmering mirror. Within it, the wide open window and the vibrant blue sky beyond shone just as clearly. Meanwhile, at that very moment, not only you but the kings of each nation were also gazing up at the sky. This is a different kingdom, by the way. The previous kingdom was Satan's. This one is this dude's. I forget. He's not Lucifer. He is... I'm not used to them yet, okay? We'll see now who he is. The devil standing beside Leviathan, wore strangely expectant expressions. The sky has ripened just right. Another grand chance to let all the realms witness your majesty's greatness is nearly upon us. This is Barbados, as you can tell, the venti of this game. A century passes in the blink of an eye. Leviathan didn't argue, he simply murmured it to himself. Summer lasts for merely 2 weeks a year, but this time it wasn't just any summer. It was a special summer, one that came only once every 100 years. Keep a close eye on the movements of the other kings. Of course, your majesty. I really want to look up this dude's name because I'm not sure there's a demon of that name. Because it's very long. Glaciolabolas. Glaciolabolas replied, soaked not in sweat but in something else, whatever business he'd been up to before this. Unlike Hades, who seemed busy preparing something, Niflheim was the same as always. The only thing different was Belith, sitting beside Belphegor's bed, nagging him with what sounded like idle complaints. Hey now, your mage. Sky's ripe and ready, just about perfect. Yeah, Belphegor is the king of sloth, so he's constantly sleeping. Come on now, even if you're napping, the summer only comes round once every 100 years. Don't you think we ought to do something for it? Least you could do is pull them blackout curtains nice and tight. The sky was so piercingly blue, even Belphegor had stirred from his nap, and from the scowl on his face he was not very pleased. That ain't the problem. Look at the sky, it's fixin' too. Forget it. I'm just gonna sleep through it again, same as always. Well, we'll see about that now, won't we? Belith absent-mindedly stroked his chin, imagining a rather plausible turn of events, but Belphegor was long gone, back in the arms of sleep, blissfully ignoring everything. The devils of Paradise Lost were no exception. They, too, had turned their eyes to the sky. Wow, the sky's perfect blue. But unlike the others who found comfort and peace at the sight of it, Lucifer's face was clouded with worry. Yep, the X1 is Lucifer. May the waves not rise too violently. The words left his lips in a hushed murmur, soft enough that no one else could hear. A prayer, not to God, but to something far less defined. Skies ripened nicely. Beelzebub was also staring at the sky, standing alone in the wilderness with a cigarette between his lips. The summer sky suited him well, his laid-back surfer aura blending right into the shimmering heat. With a sky that blue, the flies' wings are bound to get soaked. That one, bet he hasn't changed. Kiki? Or I guess the more anime we do is kit. He chuckled, a cool breeze in his voice, tossing out cryptic words like smoke into the wind. As Beelzebub gazed up at the sky somewhere in the wilderness, Mammon stood atop a high platform, watching his bustling subordinates below with a smile. Far beneath him, Bimet, or Bimay, haven't really figured that out, was barking orders at the low-ranking devils, hurrying them along as he did a final check of a certain device. My baby, your majesty Mammon, the skies ripened beautifully, this time for sure. Ah, this time perhaps we will kill them. Mammon let out a slow grin, hiding the cruel smile of his lips behind the tips of his fingers. Wow, lady, you've really got some skill with your hands. I absolutely love it. After focusing so hard that cold sweat broke out, your careful work paid off. Paimon's hairstyle turned out quite nicely. Paimon, so satisfied he couldn't stop giggling, was busy taking selfies with the mirror. Meanwhile, you approached the window in his room. The summer sky of hell seemed to have some kind of enchantment. Feels like you might get sucked right into it. Keep that up, and you'll fall right in. Ah! Just like earlier when Pyong's butthole suddenly stole your sight, this time something of Satan's again filled your vision like a curtain. This is Satan's chest. Seeing his firm muscles showing through his clothes made your heart pound. Wait a minute, this isn't the first floor. So how are you outside the window? Because today's that day. Spell tied to floating works perfectly. As he said that, Satan was perched on a motorcycle hovering in the air. You have a motorcycle? How much more perfect can you be? You stared at him in shock, looking all around him in disbelief. Then Satan cast a glance over your shoulder towards Paimon. Hey Paimon, the sky is perfectly blue and ripe. Looks like today's a day. Are you ready? You heard the phrase, the sky is perfectly ripe again. Just as you opened your mouth to ask what that meant, Paimon's voice filled with joy came from behind. Yes, it definitely feels like today's a day. Satan snickered and then gestured for Paimon to come closer. Then he whispered something as if asking for a favor, so quietly that only the two could hear. At that moment... Huh? Did I just imagine it, or did the sky just tremble loudly? Even as you murmured that, the sky shifted violently once more. What? It's not an illusion! The sky... What is that? Satan and Paimon both looked up simultaneously. Satan gritted his teeth, tensing his body as if bracing himself, while Paimon's smile grew even more radiant. The trembling sky now started to sway violently. Is that the sea? The sea. It was the sea. What was once the sky had turned into that, and waves were now crushing on it. On the sky that had turned into a sea, instead of clouds, foam and glimmers slapped vividly and swayed with life. And from within that sea, something began to rise upside down. Something rising upside down from the sky, no, from the sea, revealing itself. That's... A gigantic ship emerged from under the sea and appeared upside down in the sky. No, the sea. A ship so enormous that even the 7 kings of hell and the angels of heaven could witness it at the same time. Alright, so that was the intro to the new event. Let's do some of these now. Okay, complete the main story 111. Don't worry, these are battles. We won't have to, get spoiled from the main story. Okay, so to show you a little bit how that works, here's the level your demons are required to have. And here are the elements. Each demon has elements, but honestly, I have a hard time realizing how those work on the enemies. Like, okay, sure, you tell me that I better use water, poison, or electricity, whatever that is, and light. But the angels we're fighting are either black, white, or red. So I don't really know what's their element, if you will. Anyway, I don't think you should keep that in mind when you're starting out. Personally, I don't give a damn, and I've reached chapter 4 pretty easily. But for future battles that are gonna get a little more difficult, maybe you are going to need them. What's this? That's new. Ah, okay, so this is for the shop. Let's go. Okay, so let's put here. If you go for Satan, I'd suggest you put him at the bottom of your stage, because his ult takes the whole stage from the point he's standing. So if you put him here, he won't get the whole thing. Like if an enemy was to be here, he wouldn't be able to stop said enemy. Also, in general, kings are the strongest characters, even if you want to... When you build them, like, you don't have to rush through building them besides leveling up, because they already are broken. Okay, so... I will again go for 4 because I don't like the gameplay of these two, but you can play them if you enjoy them. Obviously, they're still very good, it's just personal preference. Here you can make it faster. I usually do it because it takes your sweet time to show up. Pyong is just as good as Leraya, by the way, that we saw earlier. So he's a good starter character to play with. I still play him. I'm just saying that if you want to... I'm just saying until you get other characters, you can use him for ranged attacks. Okay, so this was easy because as you saw, I needed level 1 characters and mine are 20, so... Pay close attention to your diamonds, guys. You're gonna need them for your shops if you're an F2P. If you're paying, you don't have to care about them. These are domains for gold. I can only do this now with the characters I have. Okay, maybe 21. This is a boss, but it's pretty simple. You don't have to worry. See how much damage he does? He did that from the beginning. Very big damage. Once you do it once, you can just ask it to replay, like back to back. We need one more. Okay. And that's essentially what you keep doing. Oh, yeah, I cannot do that with you guys. So yeah, that's what you do. And this is for given materials. They usually ask for gold or for these that are for leveling up your characters. And yeah, that's what you do each day. Let's go to the main story now. And start from the beginning. Chapter 1, Descendant of Solomon. I don't know what H3 stands for, to be fair. Luckily, this part is mostly voice, so I won't have to strain my voice that much anymore. Let's go.
뭐해?
I'm guessing that you don't want me to read along. We'll hear the voices and you'll read the subtitles. I'll only be reading the descriptions because they're not voiced. This character is the only Korean voiced one, the others are in Japanese. Your kind but sometimes unknown childhood friend sent you the meal notification without fail again.
내가 만들어 놓은 음식 먹었어? 아님 또 밥 안 먹고 딴짓 중이야?
You were surprised at the word slacking off and looked around the room. Okay, it was faster than I expected. You were surprised at the words slacking off and looked around the room that you were surely alone in. Because you definitely were slacking off, and by slacking off... you were watching Korn. Just when you looked at the video again and was about to answer, he sent another message, unable to wait that instant moment.
어디 싸돌아다니지 말고 평소처럼 내 방에 있어라.
Nope. You just happened to answer at an ambiguous timing.
밥을 안 먹었다는 거야? 딴짓을 안 하고 있다는 거야? 아님 내 방에 있기 싫다는 거야?
You decided just to ignore Minhyung's message. You did skip meals and was slacking off, but you weren't wandering around like him worried you would be. I have to listen to his name a few more times to get the pronunciation. I apologize. I didn't pay much attention to it while playing, so I didn't learn how to do it even though I've been playing for 3-4 months. Because you were in his room on his computer watching a great video. Come to think of it, this Minhyuk Kim is such a generous guy. Minhyung's computer that you were using had already become a shared computer from a long time ago, and furthermore, you were using most of its storage. This would never be me. My computer is mine. If you want your computer, you use yours. And especially when it comes to Korn, that I know that the websites have viruses, no honey. Take your business somewhere else. On your mobile, on the tablet, I don't care. My computer is mine. That didn't only apply to the computer. You tended to spend most of the day apart from night at Minhyuk's house that was right next to yours. But Minhyuk always nagged you with words. He always nags me that there is no storage on the computer when I use it, but he doesn't stop me from using it. There's no way Minhyuk didn't know what he used it for. Seeing as how you're so familiar with him, the difference in gender feels meaningless. But I don't understand what he's thinking when he mentions saying we were supposed to get married when we're young every day. Anyway, it was clear that Minhyuk was generous and good. He pretty much nurtured you at his house. He cooks, does laundry for me, and... The woman inside the The woman inside the video moaned loudly as though intent upon not giving you the time to think about anything else. But just when you were about to concentrate on the video again, Min-hyuk contacted you again with great timing. This time it was a call, not a text. You contemplated a little, but ended up pausing the video and picked Min-hyuk's call. Yeah? You replied while a man and woman's bottoms were zoomed in so that they were bigger than your own face.
너희 집 쓰레기통 안 비운 지 얼마나 됐어?
He suddenly asked about the state of your trash at home.
웬만하면 너희 집 가서 치우고 와라.
My house, I should go. The trash, I should clear it out. You answered absent-mindedly, but you had your reasons. The moment you thought about the exact image of your house, it felt like your mind was returning to that day. Your parents collapsed on the floor, the police pacing around. The red puddle that not only doused the floor but even soaked the tip of your feet as you collapsed a few steps before them. But something stood in front of you and you couldn't see anything from one point. The thick smell of blood that made you grimace, the soapy smell that stood before you and seeped in between it. Even amidst your hazy memories, those two memories remained distinctly at the tip of your nose. And since that day, you were alone. I remembered it again. It was an accident that happened when you were in middle school, so long ago that you couldn't remember it properly. Even so, you still felt uncomfortable staying in that house for a long time, and Min-hyuk knew that well. That had to be the reason he readily allowed you to use his room as your hideout. Right. I have Min-hyuk. He was more than just a neighboring childhood friend you knew from birth. You considered him to be family. Min-hyuk sighed as though he read your mind after you gave a half-hearted answer.
그냥 너희 집 열쇠나 맨날 두는 곳에 둬라. 내가 다녀올 테니까.
Under the flower bed. Thanks.
Okay.
Min-hyuk answered shortly and hung up. It looked like it was about time his class at university was over and he was coming back home. Shall I get around to using this precious time quickly, frivolously, and preciously? You played the video again. But another message popped up as soon as the hotly moaning lady appeared again.
근데 너 지금 야동 보고 있지? 부탁이 있는데 이번엔 수건 꼭 깔고 해라.
Yeah, that's the ew part. Girl, be clean. Be mindful of your shared spaces with other people. This is just ew.
의자 방석 새로 산 거다.
Well, it's over now, dude. You flinched because even though Min-hyuk knew what you were doing, he never pointed you out so directly. But you couldn't be startled and stopped there out of embarrassment. Damn it, Min-hyuk Kim, you just spoiled the fun. But I can concentrate again. After placing the towel on the chair as Min-hyuk besieged you, you took a deep breath. Then the smell of the room that you always smelled here rushed into your nose. A cotton scent mixed with soap. How does Min-hyuk's body always smell nice like that? You once asked if it were fabric softener, but it was simply Min-hyuk's body odor. I wonder how that man smells. You thought as you concentrated on the video again. I know I said video, but I know what it means, guys, don't worry. I'm just saying video to avoid the word. Was reaching its climax. I don't know why that is a word to cover, but is it the thing I word is... Yeah, there's an X missing. Anyway, I don't understand why you would censor climax. It's not used only in sex, but anyway. The man and woman's were completely... I believe that's thrusting, but I don't know if that's bums or anything. Each time the man rammed, probably. The woman, she cried under him and hugged his neck, okay? This time the man sat on top of the woman and strangled her with all his might. The woman's face turned scarlet like it would explode and made blocked sounds. Even so, the woman's crumpled face looked somehow happy. The man also didn't look like he was threatening the woman, I'm guessing, but adoring her. While watching the video where you could see real love between the two of them, and not a video where they just huffed like beasts, you felt like your lower abdomen was ringing. I chose the right video, lady. I was genius. No, whoever made this is a genius. Just when you were about to slip your hand into your peas as the video reached climax. Eh? What? The screen suddenly crackled like it was broken and the video stopped. No! We're nearly there! You crawled under the desk and smacked the old mainframe of the old computer as if coaxing it. And when you came back to the chair... Ah! You were so surprised that you screamed in an embarrassing way. A man's face was floating above the paused video. His eyes were darting around expressionlessly. What is this? Is it broken or is it staging too? The man's face was so beautiful that you could accept that it was part of a video. It definitely was splendid, I guess, corn, but not as amazing as this face. You mattered studying the face as a man in the screen of the man in the screen. The man with the wavy, medium, short hair had a unique complexion. He looked very drowsy or somewhat temperamental. But oh well, he was so beautiful that it didn't make sense. Each time his eyelashes flattered, your fingertips tickled. Each time his hair waved slightly, you found it hard to breathe. The somewhat sad-looking eyes shone like they were wet, so it looked like he was crying. You thought you wanted to torment him more if he cried. Don't be alarmed, this calms down later in the game. She does tend to describe men like that, but not all the time, so... The man was more provocative than the corn you just watched. Just when you thought so. The man's darting eyes stared at you in the face. They were obviously beautiful eyes, but you felt a chill down your spine like you sensed danger for some reason. You almost instinctively stood up slowly from your seat and stepped back. Just then, it felt like the unrealistically good-looking man's face approached you almost realistically. No, you didn't just feel it. It was real. The man was extracting himself from the monitor. Ah! Unable to apprehend the situation, you quickly cringed away. Then the man showed himself completely from the seat you just vacated. The man was in intimidating attire, unlike his pretty face, and the scythe in his hand caught your eye the most. 6 wings, and even a scythe. A cosplayer? When you murmured, unable to grasp the situation, the man opened his mouth almost simultaneously.
これで2回目だね。あの時も言ったけど、君に別に何の感情もない。
See, this phrase didn't mean much to me when I started playing, but now that I'm replaying, I'm guessing that this dude killed her parents. You were about to answer with question marks to the man who said obvious things, when there was a womb, and the scythe slashed towards your chest. Ah! Shrieking in a humiliating way for the second time today, you stepped backwards. Your clothes ripped vertically where the scythe touched it, and your bare skin was exposed through the open clothes. What are you doing?
私は言っただろう。お前に特別な感情はないと。
You nodded resentfully and belatedly found something strange. This man, what language is he speaking in? The words shooting into your ears were definitely foreign to you, but for some reason you could understand the contents. Obviously, to your surprise, the man continued again in the foreign tongue.
私はこれも言っただろうか。それでも、お前には死んでもらわなければならないと。
Even if you're handsome, there are things you should and should not say. You might have shouted in a different situation, but your mouth was so shut tight due to the fear and tension that you couldn't even scream. He's really trying to kill me. Questions like why the hell was no use here. You were already backing up against the wall and had nowhere else to hide, and you simply shut your eyes tight. Just when the brutal-looking scythe was slashing through the air with a whoom, crash! Someone opened the door to Min Young's room with a huge bang, like they intended on breaking it. Lady! You and the cosplayer who jumped out from the corn stopped moving at Min Young's silent entrance and stared at him. Your friend who made him worry that a con man might get to him for being so gentle shouted in an extremely serious and trustworthy voice. Min Young yelled as he ran towards you, then spread his arms wide and stood in front of you. Well, entrance! But how did you know? And what was he going to do? And then...
君にも言ったっけ？君にも悪い感情はない。
The scythe soared up with a whoom and cleaved through the air. No, Min Young's chest. Min Young's body fell limply. Ah! Min Young! And when you collapsed with a scream and tried to embrace Min Young's body, the man with the scythe raised it again as if intent on not giving you the time. Just then, there was a sudden cozy smell like a cat's sunny fur behind your ear, and a black shadow as soft as a blanket enveloped your body, as if trying to help you not plop on the floor. It felt like someone was pulling you from a bag to help you up. The black shadow soon became someone's firm hand and swirled around your waist. Then a strange man's sweet scent rang in your ears.
特に何の感情もない奴を殺すのが恥ずかしいとも思わないのは天使の特性なのか?
When he spoke and pulled you back, the scythe grazed in front of you again. Wait, I'm sure I was up against the wall. No, what did he say? An angel trait? While you felt confused, with one arm around your waist, a man walked out from behind you and stood next to you. It was a snow-white and scarlet man.
罪のない奴をそんな風に適当に殺してたら地獄に落ちるって。俺が知っている天使は 人間たちにそう言っていたけどな。
The way I love this VA, guys, and I don't even know who he is.
私たちは神に仕え、神を賛美する存在。私は言ってなかったかな。それ以外は何も重要に思わないと。誰が死のうが生きようが、それは神に何の影響も及ぼさない。
When the man who saved you jeered, the expressionless man put away his scythe and spoke in an indifferent voice. Again, you were confused at the foreign tongue, but again, you understood it properly for some reason. Meanwhile, you realized something. That man is an angel? But apart from his angelic and beautiful face, everything else made him look like a gangster or grim reaper. Wait, then what about the man who saved me? You slowly raised your head to look at the man standing next to you. Then the man also looked at you. Aye. Who are you? The man raised the corners of his lips slightly, then glinted his unsmiling and scarlet eyes to whisper in your ear.
ソロモンの子孫であるお前を助けに来た悪魔だ。
While you were frozen at the word devil, the man called an angel raised his scythe again.
私とここで対抗するつもりか、サタン。それはあまりいい考えではないと思うけど。
A small bloody smile appeared on the expressionless angel's face.
君の力はソロモンとの契約で封印されているはずだけど。
They will explain that more later, don't worry.
君は今私の前で虫よりも劣る存在だ。
You're the mushi, vermin.
私は言ってなかったかな。虫のようなお前が私に歯向かう姿を見ていると。足ですりつぶしてやりたくなると。
When the angel pointed at you and Satan with a scythe in his hand, white light began to gather there. Then you felt something unfathomable but eerie. At the same time, an emotion that bypassed eeriness began filling up inside you most quickly and feverishly. It was rage. Give Minion back, you scum! Okay, so this was the beginning of the game. I'm going to have to stop here because that's all the time I have to record today. So yeah, that was my first gameplay of What in Hell is Bad with you guys. I sincerely don't know how people find these games when broadcasted on YouTube. I have never watched a YouTuber play this kind of game to know what to expect from you guys, like what reaction I can expect from playing it. But like I said, I personally enjoy it as a game. I want to keep playing. So yeah, do tell me what you think. If you enjoyed my gameplay, please do consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell. I hope you have an amazing week. I hope that if you play that, you will share your fangirling farmboying with me. Who is your favorite king? Who is your main? Etc. I'll be glad to hear that. I hope every character you wish from that game comes home to you before you know it, because especially if you're an F2P, it is really hard to get stuff from the limited banners. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!